Hello, bookish friends and the internet. Welcome or welcome back to Coffee Over Apples. My name is Steph. This is a book haul, and I know that I just kind of recently posted a book haul like a month ago, but I still had some leftover gift cards from Barnes & Noble that I had to use. I got some manga and I got some horror books, and it's kind of like a mini book haul because I think I got like 10 books to talk to you about.
It could change the world.
Some of them will probably already have been read by the time that this video comes out, so just like, you know, maybe it's a surprise, maybe it's not. Who knows? I got a couple horror books that I'm pretty excited for. One of them is Human Sacrifices by Maria Fernanda Empuero. I think is it short stories? Horror short stories by a Latina author, and I'm pretty sure this is the theme of the short stories. It's supposed to be gruesome. I don't know if it's like just extreme horror or body horror or splatterpunk. I'm not sure, but I'm ready. I picked this up because it came across my radar when I was looking for more books by Feminist Press, which is the indie publisher that I worked with recently, and just really love this. So this is not an ARC. I purchased this because it looked really interesting. But here's what the back says. A groundbreaking voice in contemporary Latin American literature, Maria Empuero confronts machismo, inequity, and the violence in her latest short story collection. An undocumented woman answers a job posting only to find herself held hostage. A group of outcasts obsess over popular boys drowned while surfing, and two girls suspect sinister behavior from the missionaries lodging in their home. Kind of all I need to know. Sounds pretty great to me. Are most of these books that I picked up by indigenous authors or Latina authors? Now that I'm thinking about it, probably. Here's this next one by V. Castro, The Haunting of Alejandra. This was one that was like kind of floating on my radar from hearing about it from friends. And then I was at Barnes & Noble with another friend of mine, and we were looking for a buddy read. We passed by the table that was Feminine Rage. A bunch of books in there I had already read and was like, yes, these are accurate. Don't know about the rest of them. This was there. And so we were like, And so we both bought it so we can buddy read it. But anyway, something in here about, I'm trying to remember from when I read the synopsis, a generational curse. It has to do with La Llorona, which is a like Hispanic folklore about this woman who's like haunting, right? And it's something about how each woman in this family sees La Llorona crying, I think. So they're haunted by her. And she's trying to figure out why only the women in their family are being haunted by this folktale. So like that's just enough in itself for me to get interested. Like, she's trying to break a generational curse. I wonder how that's going to play into like gender norms and gender roles and other aspects of like Latina culture, specifically revolving around women, expectations of women, women in the household, women's like the passing down of different specific mantles and like customs. I don't know what I'm gonna expect of this other than that I am highly anticipating that this is going to be a fun time, and it's short, and it's a horror, and I love the cover, absolutely adore the cover. This one is eventually going to be a buddy read with my bestie Natalie. We'd been wanting to read this for a while, and I've been trying to get my hands on a copy, and then I randomly came across it, and I was like, yes, give me. This is Never Whistle at Night, an indigenous dark fiction anthology, edited by Shane Hawk and Theodore C. Van Alst Jr. So I'll just read you the back because I am very bad at remembering synopsis. Many indigenous people believe that one should never whistle at night. It can cause evil spirits to appear and even follow you home. These wholly original and shiver-inducing tales introduce readers to ghosts, curses, hauntings, monstrous creatures, complex family legacies, desperate deeds, and chilling acts of revenge. Introducing and contextualized by best-selling author Stephen Graham Jones, these stories are a celebration of indigenous people survival and imagination, a glorious reveling in all the things an ill-advised whistle might summon. Okay, that jogs my memory as to how this came across our radar in the first place because we both love Stephen Graham Jones. There's a blurb by Nick Cutter on the back. I love Nick Cutter. I also really love Stephen Graham Jones. So, like, edited by one of our favorite horror authors, blurbed by one of my favorite horror authors. Come on, it's got 2 endorsements. Author of Little Heaven. Oh, and he's quoted for Little Heaven, which I feel like is not what he's typically known for. Highly anticipated, high rated read because it's really hard for short story collections and anthologies to get a 5-star. But anyway. Then we have Terra Nullius, which I think by the time this video comes out, I will have finished reading it because my book club is meeting in a couple days and I need to start it. By an Indigenous Australian author. Missionaries and forced education onto Indigenous peoples and like the wiping of their culture. I'm expecting for this to throw me through some serious emotions. Before I get to the manga that I got, because I got a bunch of manga and graphic novels, Kindle, I got Mistletoe and Mischigas, which is the second book in the Teacher's Love series. Pretty sure. Is that the name of the series? Teacher's Love, Teachers in Love, whatever. Which means that I read the first one. Hint, 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 if that video hasn't come out yet. My face is probably giving you complex readings in contrast to the words that are coming out of my mouth. I am not going to talk about book 1 yet, but I'm reading book 2 very soon because I need something light and fluffy. So I got that. I think this one is a teacher and the janitor at a school falling in love. So cute. Like, all these books are centered around, like, teacher romance, teacher janitor romance. I think the third one's, like, the principal and someone else. Or, like, teacher parent romance, whatever. You know what I mean? Sounds good. Okay, so moving on to manga and graphic novels. So this one I literally just picked up because one of my kids picked up from the classroom library, Scott Pilgrim, book 1, and had so many questions. And when a kid requests a book because they want to keep reading, that is my, like, immediately I go to the bookstore and get it for them. No questions asked. As long as it's a series that, like, I've started to provide because I've already vetted it, right? But Scott Pilgrim, books 2 and 3, because they want to continue reading Scott Pilgrim. And they're really interested in reading about a main character who's, like, not a good person, so deviating from the norm. Can this person grow? Can this person become a good person? What does it mean to be a good person and make decisions and friends and dynamics, emotional and mental maturity? So this is really fun, and I'm glad that they liked book 1, so I picked this up so that they can continue reading it. Also, I'm not a fan of this series, so if you love it, I'm glad that you love it. But I got One Piece book 1 just because there is a kiddo that will not stop asking me if I can bring in One Piece. And I'm like, sure. As long as it gets you reading, that's okay, because reading is imperative. I don't know how many volumes of this I'm going to get because there's literally 100, and I don't plan on getting all 100. But I'll get, like, the first handful, and that's fine. Blue Period Volume 5, which I have the first 4 volumes because my bestie was kind enough to send it to me as a gift a while back, and I personally want to continue the series, so, like, it's kind of for them, but it's mostly for me, you know? I absolutely adore this series. I love the anime. I need to continue the anime. It is about a young boy who finds themselves in art as a mode of expressing that they didn't know was possible. They kind of get into, like, an AP program, so it's really about, like, AP art and the experience of being an artist, applying for college. What does it mean to study as an art student? How do you push yourself? How classes are run? What does success mean as an artist, or, like, artist block, and just blooming as a young artist? Like, I love this series so much, and I'm really mad at myself. I have series that I love and I just never finish them. I also easily get intimidated by really long series, and it's still going. So yeah, but I'm continuing this. So I got book 5. We'll eventually be getting book 6 sooner rather than later, I promise. And then the last thing that I got was Komi Can't Communicate Volume 1. This is a really sweet series, and while no one asked for this, I picked it up because I think it's actually great. in the sense that it's about a young girl who struggles with communication. She definitely needs an IEP. She needs to be diagnosed with something in order to make sure that she is getting the support in the classroom. But I digress. It's not about that. It's about the friends around her learning what it means to communicate with someone who has communication issues, and like social dynamics as far as high school, projecting one's wants onto somebody else versus understanding the reality, making space for friends who have different levels and abilities to voice their opinions, representation. So it's really sweet. I got this because I hope that they love it. So, you know, it's just going to be there. Hoping that they read it because I think they would like it. Anyway, if you haven't seen this or read it, it's super cute, super sweet, high school appropriate, highly recommend. Anyway, these are the books that I got. This was a very short book haul, but I hope that you liked it. And I don't know when the next book haul is going to be, but I am planning a book unhaul for like potentially June. I try to do it once a year in the summertime, and I want to give myself a chance to maybe do some taste tests for the books that are on my TBR shelf because I'm not feeling some of them. But you know, that's in the works. Anyway, I post videos whenever I feel like it. Thanks for watching. Bye.
On we go.
What's it making, Mr. Wonka? Mr. Wonka work the